Yes, first I'd like to say thanks to DataTorrent for having me out today, and thanks to you guys for coming. So this is a kind of a review of what I think is a really good use case for DataTorrent RTS. My name is Steve Verlander, longtime technology guy. Graduated way back when with a physics degree and learned early on that wasn't the greatest thing to make money with. And went into coding and did a lot of independent consulting, worked with Delta Airlines for a long time, worked with several startups, was a CTO at a learning management company. But what I want to talk about today is my work at a digital marketing company. I was CTO for a digital marketing company. You guys know what I mean by digital marketing? So I'll go ahead and tell you, all right? Okay. Well, ours might have been a little different, all right? So basically, we were sending out email, all right? A lot of email. Advertising email. So by the time I left there, we were probably sending out, well over 1 billion pieces of email a month. All right, and these email addresses were almost exclusively to the U.S. So when you think about it, there are 320 million people in the U.S. 1 billion. So I'm guessing I hit maybe a few of you guys once or twice a day. I'm sorry, but guys got to make a living somehow. But what's interesting is when you're sending out that much email, it introduces some unique challenges, and I want to talk about some of those today. Let's go. So you're sending out all this email, and customers, of course, they want it segmented. And they want it segmented by a lot of historical data. And you're generating huge historical data sets. So they want it segmented by that. Of course, they want, testing, done live, A/B testing to measure content effectiveness. They want real-time reporting, real-time analytics. Of course, you got to have high performance and throughput, scalability on demand. This is where I really learned about scalability. At that time, one of our big customers was AARP, and this is a true story. They had a subscriber base of millions, all right? And they decided to send out an email message that said, sign up today to get your free pedometer while supplies last. Now, you know what happens when you say, get your free pedometer while supplies last to all of AARP subscribers? Well, your response rates are through the roof, all right? and scaling was really put to the test. I think that day, I'm pretty sure we took down the fulfillment mainframes over at AARP, just hammering it with requests, and lit up their contact center like a Christmas tree with all the phone calls. But scalability is going to be really important. And these kind of campaigns, they generate a lot of streaming data. You have, opens that are constantly coming back. You have clicks that are coming in, bounces that you need to measure. All this data streaming back into. And we didn't have a great way to deal with it. I'll show you some of the technologies we were using back then. So we tried everything. We had Oracle RAC databases serving up this stuff, and we could, sort of scale that. MySQL databases, we clustered those, we sharded those. We were doing distributed SQL servers. We even tried some NoSQL solutions like MongoDB with, limited success. We did use some MapReduce as well and had some success there as well. But none of them really gave us the solution that we were looking for. And because all of them had certain limitations. The SQL databases, they're just hard to scale, okay? Even if you can get it to do it, it's a huge effort to do it. It's hard making those things fault tolerant. With Oracle, you can build out data guards, and so now you have all this infrastructure that you hope not to use. MongoDB, we had replica sets, so more infrastructure that you're not using. The systems are hard to maintain. And the ones that did work, when we were using MapReduce, these were results that were coming in days later. It wasn't giving us the real-time results that we needed and that our customers wanted from us. All right. What I think would have been perfect back then is something like RTS. This is a solution that we were looking for that just wasn't available back then. Can handle thousands of requests per second, very low latency, and it's built to be fault tolerant. The fault tolerance is built in. It's easy to deploy. Whether you're going to deploy it in the cloud, on your own infrastructure, and it's very portable. It doesn't lock you into any specific vendors. And of course, it scales effortlessly. Here's a little demo application that I wrote. So it simulates thousands and thousands of open email events coming in, real-time analysis of campaign effectiveness, and you have these very easy-to-use tools to see visually what's going on. And here, a typical digital marketing campaign. You could look up and immediately that you want a free cruise. It's just not doing like it used to in the old days. But this one, Nigerian diplomat needs your help. Now there's a campaign that's really working right now, and you know it in real time. So you can switch over and use your resources more effectively. Now of course this is, I just put this together as a demo. But it really showed me the power of RTS. And for some of you that are just looking at the solution or contemplating it, I highly recommend go to the website, download the virtual machine. It's real easy to get it up and running. There are demos built into it that will fire up. You don't have to write a single line of code. It just all works. One thing I did notice is some of the demos will require a VM of at least probably 10 or 11 gigabytes. If you set it to 11 gigabytes, almost all the demos will work. The other thing I did was launched a lot of these up on AWS. It's really easy to get DataTorrent up and running on AWS. I got a script that'll fire up an EMR cluster, and it installs flawlessly and just starts up. It just works. And for any of you contemplating it, I would highly recommend just downloading the demo and trying it out. That's really all I had to say. If anyone has any questions about my experience, or if you want to borrow some of my AWS scripts to fire it up in Amazon, or ask me other questions, I'm more than welcome to entertain them. All right. Uh-oh. Not that I know. I can't think of any ways. Maybe you could think of something more brilliant than I could, but no. Sure. How many years ago was it? This was about 7 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. I will tell you that most of the what we refer to in the business as ESPs, email service providers. Now, almost all of them are using some sort of, MapReduce, just to, whether they're doing monthly processing or year-end processing. It's just a phenomenal tool for analyzing the massive amounts of data that you get from doing these kind of campaigns.
I just have a comment.
Sure.
You use, there's two projects, just sending emails and then counting all the clicks.
Yep.
There's two separate.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate that. That's just a long time company that I founded doing independent consulting under that. I don't do so much email anymore. A lot of other things, but not a whole lot of email right now. No.
Which is why my inbox is very clean.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I mean, the spam filters that people have now are just phenomenal, and it's hard to get out. If someone doesn't really sign up and want it, I don't know how Google does it, but they are unbelievable at filtering out this stuff.
So you talked about Apex
Yep.
solution and all that. So you didn't go into the next level of detail as to what you did and how you did. Would you be able to share some of that?
I could. I have the code to this sample that I could send out to you if you're welcome to see that. It's maybe you can see it a little bit here. All right. Where is it? Oh yeah, here. Okay, so here an email sampler is just generating out sample events for me just to do this demo. You want a unique counter on all the subject lines just to group them all together, and then this one just grabs a top few, and then I throw it into a snapshot server so that you can pull the data in off of the visualizer.
So with that, you could do analytics very quickly.
Yeah.
See how to box the data, how to box the
Yeah. Now there are other things that you'd want to do in order to store the results and everything. This is just going to show it to you, kind of in real time.
In your experience, do you find something this is not useful? Any bottlenecks, anything?
I don't. I wasn't looking for that. So I'm sure there are probably things out there. Maybe transactional. A lot of transactional systems where you need to roll things back. It might not be so great for that. Maybe some of you have found solutions for that.